He's packing his bags right in front of her while she's crying. Joe from Love is Blind just ended their engagement, and this man is literally folding his clothes like he's checking out of a hotel. This is one of the most uncomfortable breakup moments in reality TV history, and honestly, it gets so much worse. Today, we're ranking the absolute cringiest, most painful to watch splits that had us screaming at our screens. From Love is Blind to The Bachelor, these breakups were so awkward that even the camera crew didn't know where to look. Let's get into it. Look, we've all been through breakups. Some of us have cried in a Wendy's parking lot at 2 a.m. Some of us have drunk texted our ex 17 times in one night. But none of us, and I mean none of us, have had to break up with someone while a camera crew films our every tear and a producer whispers, "Can you say that again, but with more emotion?" That's the special kind of hell reserved for reality TV contestants. And today, we're diving into the most spectacularly uncomfortable, cringe-inducing, hide-behind-your-couch breakup moments that reality TV has ever given us. We're covering Love is Blind Season 9, which honestly might go down as the most brutal season in the show's history, plus some classic Bachelor franchise disasters that still haunt us to this day. And stick around till the end because we're doing a poll to see which breakup you think was the absolute worst. Alright, let's ruin our day together. Now, before we get into the carnage, let's talk about what makes a reality TV breakup truly, magnificently cringe. It's not just about someone saying, "I don't." It's about the timing. It's about the location. It's about what comes out of someone's mouth when they're trying to let someone down easy, but instead they say something so tone-deaf that you have to pause the TV and stare at the wall for 5 minutes. The best, or should I say worst breakups have a few key ingredients. 1. Terrible timing. Like breaking up with someone right before they're about to meet your kid. Or at the altar, in front of 50 people, while wearing a $5,000 suit you rented specifically for this occasion. 2. Catastrophically bad communication. We're talking about people who can't form a complete sentence, who say "I love you" when they mean "I'm leaving you," who pack their suitcase while their fiancé is sobbing on the couch. 3. And this is crucial body language that makes you want to throw your remote at the TV. The dead-eyed stares. The nervous laughter. The guy who literally cannot stop smiling while breaking someone's heart. Love is Blind Season 9 had all of this. In fact, it might be the first season in the show's history where literally no one made it down the aisle. 0 couples. Zilch. Nada. A complete and total wipeout. So let's start there. Coming in at number 7, we have Anton and Ally. Now, this one isn't the most dramatic breakup on our list, but it makes the cut because of how absolutely predictable and yet somehow still painful it was to watch. These two spent the entire season being fine, just fine. They had the chemistry of two people stuck in an elevator together who are trying to be polite. They agreed on timelines for kids. They both wanted marriage. On paper, it worked. But here's the thing, and this is important. You can't build a marriage on a shared Google Calendar. At some point, you actually have to like spending time with the person. So, we get to the altar. Anton's standing there in his suit, probably thinking about the joint bank account they discussed, and the Sherpa Club membership he was worried about. The officiant asks Ally if she takes Anton to be her lawfully wedded husband, and she just pauses. You can see it in her face. She's doing the mental math. She's thinking about flip-flops and Baja. Yes, that was apparently a deal-breaker for her. She's thinking about how he wasn't the lively, outgoing guy she wanted. And then she says, "I can't be your wife." Now here's what makes this cringe. Anton's mom didn't even show up to the wedding. His teacher walked him down the aisle. This man brought his childhood guardian angel to watch him get married. And Ally still said no. The crowd was tiny. It looked like they invited 12 people total. It had, "we knew this wasn't going to work" energy from the jump. But you know what? Good for Ally for not going through with it. Because the alternative would have been a marriage where she resents him for wearing flip-flops and he resents her for, I don't know, having opinions. These two were doomed from the start. But that's just the appetizer. Let's move on to something with a little more spice. At number 6, we have Nick and Annie, and this one came out of nowhere. Throughout the season, Annie seemed pretty into Nick. Sure, there were some red flags, the love-bombing accusations, the fact that he used the same lines on multiple women, the whole using faith to control situations thing. But Annie defended him. She was ride or die. And then, the night before they're supposed to go wedding dress shopping, Nick just pulls the plug. They're sitting there having what seems like a normal conversation. Annie's talking about how happy she is. She's smiling. She's planning their future. And Nick, with the emotional intelligence of a wet paper bag, says, "Marriage to me is such a cornerstone of life, and I am unhappy." I'm sorry. What? Annie's face goes from, "I'm in love," to, "Did I just get hit by a truck in half seconds?" She starts laughing not because it's funny, but because her brain literally cannot process what's happening. Here's what makes this one so uncomfortable. Nick is smiling the entire time. He's breaking this woman's heart, and he's got this little smirk on his face like he just won a game of chess. Annie's trying to argue her way back into the relationship. She's like, "But I love you." And he's like, "Yeah, but I'm unhappy, so no." And then he hits her with, "You can't make 1 + 1 = 3. Sir. SIR. What does that even mean? This isn't a math class. This is a breakup. Use your words." The worst part? Annie was so blindsided that she kept trying to negotiate. What if we just don't break up? And Nick's just sitting there like a robot going, "Negative. Relationship terminated." It was like watching someone try to return a sweater to a store that doesn't accept returns. Just painful and futile. Okay, we're getting into the heavy hitters now. Buckle up. Number 5 is Jordan and Megan. And I'm not gonna lie, this one actually made me sad. Like, genuinely sad. Jordan is a single dad to a 5-year-old named Luca, who has type 1 diabetes. Megan is a successful, independent woman who loves traveling, hanging with her friends, and living life on her own terms. On paper, this was always going to be complicated. But here's the thing, they really seem to like each other. Megan met Luca. She was nervous, but excited. Jordan was all in. His vows were about how she was going to be an amazing stepmom. This felt like it could actually work. And then, we get to the wedding day. Megan's in her dress, which, by the way, was gorgeous. Solid 9 out of 10. Jordan's waiting at the altar looking nervous, but hopeful. Megan walks up. They're standing there. The officiant is doing his thing. And then Megan says, "I still have reservations now. That's not how I should be feeling going into my wedding." Jordan's face just crumbles. You can see his heart breaking in real time. Here's what makes this one so brutal. Megan is 100% right. She shouldn't marry someone when she has doubts. She's being honest and mature and doing the right thing. But Jordan brought his son into this. Luca met Megan. Luca probably got excited about having a new person in his life. And now Jordan has to go home and explain to a 5-year-old why Megan isn't going to be around. And when they talk after the ceremony, Jordan says, "I wish I didn't introduce her to my son." That line hit hard. Because you can hear the regret. You can hear him realizing that he moved too fast. That he let himself believe in something that wasn't ready to exist yet. This is what makes reality TV so brutal. In real life, you can date someone for a year, meet their kids slowly, ease into the role. But on Love is Blind, you're meeting someone's child 2 weeks before you're supposed to marry their parent. It's insane. All right, deep breath. Let's move on to the top 4, where things get truly unhinged. At number 4, we have Edmund and KB. And oh boy was this one a mess. Let me paint you a picture. Edmund is a former Division II football player who grew up in the foster care system. KB is a strong, independent woman who does not tolerate nonsense. From the jump, these two were fighting. And not cute, we're passionate fighting. I'm talking full-blown, "You're manipulative," and "You're dismissive." And "Stop crying every time I try to hold you accountable" fighting. The night before the wedding, they have a massive blowout on a snowmobile. Yes, a snowmobile. Because nothing says healthy relationship like screaming at each other on a mountain. KB is trying to explain that Edmund acts different on camera versus off camera. She's saying he's manipulative. She's saying he dismisses her feelings. And Edmund? He keeps interrupting her. He keeps saying, "I love you," instead of actually addressing what she's saying. And when she finally gets fed up, he drops this gem. "Stop fucking talking to me, bitch, 'cause you're not letting me talk." Excuse me? So we get to the altar. Edmund is standing there with his teacher, the woman who was his guardian angel growing up by his side. It's actually really sweet and emotional. KB walks up in her dress. Edmund says his vows. He says, "I do." The officiant turns to KB. "Do you take Edmund to be your lawfully wedded husband?" And KB, with tears streaming down her face, says, "I'm so sorry, I can't." Here's what makes this one so uncomfortable. Edmund is devastated. Like, truly heartbroken. You can see him trying to hold it together. He's nodding. He's saying, "It's okay." But it's not okay. And the thing is, KB is absolutely making the right call. This man called her a bitch the night before their wedding. He couldn't communicate. He cried every time she tried to have a serious conversation. But watching him stand there with his teacher, the woman who raised him when no one else would, and get rejected at the altar, that's rough. That's really, really rough. After the ceremony, KB says, "I have to honor my mom," which, okay, I guess her mom told her not to marry him. But also, girl, you could have honored your mom before you put on the wedding dress and walked down the aisle. This whole situation was just sad. No winners, only losers, and a very confused teacher who probably regrets agreeing to be on camera. Okay, we're in the top 3 now. And trust me, it only gets worse from here. Coming in at number 3 is Patrick and Casey. And this one makes the list because Casey is quite possibly the most frustrating person to ever appear on Love is Blind. Patrick and Casey got engaged in the pods. They seemed happy. And then they got back to Denver and Casey just checked out. Completely ghosted him emotionally. She wanted space to think. She wasn't ready to have conversation. She kept saying she needed time. And Patrick, bless his heart, kept trying. He kept reaching out. He kept asking to talk, and Casey kept putting him off. So they finally meet up to talk. And Patrick is like, "Hey, can you just apologize so we can move on?" And Casey, with the self-awareness of a brick, says, "No, just no. No apology, no accountability, no nothing." Patrick is sitting there like, "I just want you to say you're sorry so we can both move forward with our lives." And Casey's like, "I literally loved you in the pods. You were a distant second. I'm sorry." What? This woman kept the engagement ring. She kept it, even though she clearly had no intention of marrying Patrick. Even though she was giving him googly eyes with other guys at parties. Even though she started dating Joe from the same season immediately after. And when they bring her out at the reunion, she still won't apologize. She's sitting there like, "I don't think I did anything wrong, ma'am, ma'am. You emotionally manipulated this man for weeks. You kept him on the hook. You made him look like a fool on national television." The only reason this one isn't higher on the list is because Patrick seems like he dodged a bullet. At the reunion, he's over it. He's moved on. He's living his best life. But Casey? Casey went on to date Joe, who we'll get to in a minute, and apparently announced it to their friend group in the most awkward way possible. Because, of course she did. All right, we're down to the final 2. And these are the breakups that will haunt. At number 2, we have Joe and Madison. And specifically, we're talking about the suit shopping incident that led to their breakup. Joe and Madison seemed like one of the stronger couples. They had chemistry. They seemed to genuinely like each other. Sure, Joe made some comments about Madison's body that were questionable, but overall, they seemed solid. And then they went suit shopping. Joe is trying on suits with the other guys. Everything seems fine. And then, out of nowhere, Joe just walks out, leaves. Doesn't tell Madison, doesn't tell anyone, just dips. Madison has no idea this happened. She goes about her day thinking everything is fine. That night, Joe comes back and acts like nothing happened. He's cuddling with her. He's being sweet. He says nothing about walking out of suit shopping. The next day, Madison finds out what happened, and she's understandably confused and hurt. She's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And Joe, instead of being honest and vulnerable, gets defensive. He starts picking fights. He starts questioning their entire relationship. And then, in the most uncomfortable scene in Love is Blind history, Joe breaks up with Madison while packing his bags in front of her. Let me describe this scene for you because it's truly unhinged. Madison is sitting on the couch, crying. She's trying to understand what's happening. She's asking Joe to talk to her. And Joe is literally folding his clothes. He's packing his suitcase. He's organizing his toiletries. He's acting like he's checking out of a hotel after a business trip. Madison is sobbing, and this man is folding a t-shirt with the precision of a Marie Kondo tutorial. At one point, Madison says, "Can you at least look at me?" And Joe barely glances up. He's too busy making sure his socks are properly paired. After Joe leaves, Madison is left sitting there alone, completely blindsided. She thought they were going to work through it. She thought they had a future. And Joe, at the reunion, he says, "I felt relieved. This man broke someone's heart on national television, and his main emotion was relief. This breakup is number 2 because of the sheer audacity, the lack of empathy, the way Joe couldn't even be bothered to stop packing to have a real conversation. It's the kind of breakup that makes you want to reach through the TV and shake someone. But it's not number 1, because there's one breakup that's even worse. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The number 1 most cringe, most uncomfortable, most what the hell is happening breakup moment in recent reality TV history. It's Joe and Madison again, but this time, it's the morning after Mexico. Remember how I said Joe and Madison seemed solid? Well, they went to Mexico with all the other couples, and one night, everyone got drunk, like truly obliterated. Joe was being weird all night. He was picking fights with other guys. He was acting aggressive. He was being a jerk to Madison. Madison went to bed upset. Joe stayed up drinking. The next morning, Madison wakes up. Joe is somewhere. She doesn't know where. She's sitting outside, crying, trying to process the night before. Joe eventually comes back to the room. And this is where it gets weird. Joe walks in and acts like he has no memory of the night before. He's asking Madison where she's been. He's asking her the same questions over and over. He's acting completely incoherent. Madison is freaking out. She's like, "Joe, you're scaring me. Are you okay?" And Joe just keeps saying, "I'm waking up. Have you ever woke up before? Have you ever woke up before? What does that even mean?" Madison is sitting there thinking her fiancé either did drugs now, had a mental breakdown, is gaslighting her, all of the above. He's not recognizing that she's wearing the same outfit from the night before the outfit they were literally making out in a few hours ago. He keeps asking, "Where have you been?" Like she's the one who disappeared. And then he gets angry at her for being worried about him. This is the number 1 most cringe breakup moment because it's not just a breakup. It's a psychological horror film. Madison is watching the man she's supposed to marry act like a completely different person. She doesn't know if he's okay. She doesn't know if she's okay. She doesn't know what's real anymore. And the cameras are just filming it all. The producers are just letting it happen. It's uncomfortable. It's disturbing. It's the kind of thing that makes you question whether reality TV has gone too far. And the worst part? This is the same guy who later packs his bags in front of her while she cries. This is the same guy who says he felt relieved after breaking her heart. Joe is the villain of Love is Blind Season 9, and this moment is his villain origin story. So there you have it, the 7 most cringe, most uncomfortable, most "I need to take a shower after watching this" breakup moments from recent reality TV. From Anton and Allie's predictable split, to Nick's robot breakup with Annie, to Jordan and Megan's heartbreaking altar moment, to Edmund and KB's snowmobile showdown, to Casey's complete lack of accountability with Patrick, and finally to Joe's 2-part masterclass in how not to break up with someone. Now it's your turn. I want to know, which breakup do you think was the worst? Was it Joe packing his bags? Was it the Mexico morning incident? Was it Casey keeping that ring? Drop a comment below with your vote. And while you're down there, let me know what other reality TV moments you want me to cover. Bachelor franchise disasters? Love Island chaos? Married at First Sight train wrecks? I'm here for all of it. I've also got a video coming up next week about the Love is Blind Season 9 reunion, where we get to see all these people confront each other. It's messy. You're not going to want to miss it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, if you're going through a breakup right now, at least you didn't do it on national television while a guy named Joe folds his laundry in front of you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.